Yo, what's going on, guys? Johnny GB here, bringing you guys my week 1 prep for PMC Season 4. We're going to be taking on the Tampa Bay Frogadiers and their coach, Verd. Now, this is the first time I've actually gotten to play Verd since the Season 2 finals, and I'm actually very happy with the team we've built. Kind of just run through some of the stuff that I'm bringing, why I'm bringing it. You guys will see his team probably on the top here. You guys might, instead of seeing my team, you guys are going to see the mons he can potentially bring, if not, if I don't get it edited. His team includes Landorus, Therian, Celesteela, Weavile, Suicune, Mega Ampharos, Uxie, Cofagrigus, Chestnut, Licky Licky, Armaldo, and Mawile. Now, when I first was prepping, it was a very bulky team. Not a very fast team. His speed tiers go from Weavile to Uxie to Landorus Therian as his top 3 fastest mons, so I knew I could get away with a little bit of speed creeping here, but my team right now is really weak to Landorus Therian. There's not much I could really do with the team I drafted to deal with Landorus Therian. I could have brought Miltank or Togetic, but I feel like this team's a little bit better option for me to bring this week. Now we're just going to kick it off with our first Pokemon. We have our Cobalion. Now, Cobalion is our dedicated Weavile switch-in, because we are able to switch into knockoffs, get +1 attacks. We can switch into Icicle Crash, Ice Shards very comfortably, especially with the HP investment into Cobalion. I'll get into the EV spread here in a bit. But we're running Swords Dance, Iron Head, Taunt, and Close Combat, all of which is just very good coverage for Verd's team. Now, Landorus Therian can come in freely against this. I did think about HP Ice instead of Taunt, but I felt Taunt was really necessary, seeing as he does have some mons that like to use status moves such as Suicune, Uxie, Cofagrigus, Chestnut, Licky Licky, Armaldo. So he has a lot of mons that can just essentially go for a non-attacking move, so I felt Taunt was really necessary. HP Ice could have been another option. I think it should have been an option in prep, but I think I have Landorus checked fairly well. Now, when you look at the EV spread here, we have 124 speed EV Jolly Nature. Now, this is allowing me to outspeed a max speed Jolly Landorus Therian. So, if he is a potential just max speed Jolly Landorus, we do outspeed, so I can potentially hit it with an Iron Head to deal some damage. I can taunt it if he has a Stealth Rocker set, and that's about the extent of why I have the speed there. Now I have max attack so that we can deal the most damage to mons like the Licky Licky, the Armaldo, Uxie, Cofagrigus, without potentially setting up. We have the Chople Berry there because Weavile can run low kick, and I do expect Verd to bring the low kick Weavile simply because he doesn't have a very good Cobalion switch in without something taking a chunk of damage. I mean, he can go Celesteela, which can take a close combat or Iron Head fairly well, but after that I do have some Celesteela switch-ins as well. Now, 108 HP just allows me to take an Icicle Crash plus low kick from Weavile fairly comfortably, especially after the Chople Berry, and just minimizing the amount of damage Cobalion will end up taking in this battle. But I'd really, if I ever want to set up with Cobalion, and I probably should have just thought about running HP Ice instead of Swords Dance, but if Landorus does end up falling, then I am a little bit more comfortable to setting up a Swords Dance against him. The only things I have to look out for are Uxie Thunder Wave and Cofagrigus Will-O-Wisp, but I got those pretty much covered in here. Now we're going to go into our next Pokemon. We have our Nidoqueen. Now, our Nidoqueen is a mon that Verd used to essentially just destroy us in the Season 2 final, so kind of just a little bit payback here using Nidoqueen against Verd. And we're going to be running a Shuca Berry kind of as a decent check to Landorus Therian. We have Toxic Spike, Stealth Rock, Ice Beam, and Thunderbolt. Now, no stab moves on Nidoqueen this week, because it isn't really needed versus his team. Ice Beam Thunderbolt allows it to hit Suicune, Celesteela, Mega Ampharos, Uxie, Chestnut. Just allows it to hit everything that can switch in reliably to Nidoqueen, one of those being Uxie and the other being Celesteela. So the stab coverage really wasn't needed. Now Toxic Spikes is very good because he has a lot of very bulky mons such as Suicune, Mega Ampharos, Cofagrigus, Chestnut, Licky Licky, Armaldo, and his only hazard removal is actually Armaldo, so I feel like I really want to try to get my Toxic Spikes up against him, and this could potentially be my lead against him so that I can ensure I get at least one layer of Toxic Spikes up to wear down some of his bulkier mons. Ice Beam does actually OHKO Landorus Therian unless he is Yachi, so it's just a very good tech. I can live an Earthquake from it, hit it back with an Ice Beam, KO it, and actually is a lot more simple for my team to deal with the rest of Verd's team after the Landorus Therian does fall. Look at the EV spread. I have 188 special defense, 252 HP, 70 into its special attack. Now 188 special defense allows this thing to not be 2-KO'd by Mega Ampharos, so it gives me one reliable switch into Mega Ampharos, so Dragon Pulse cannot 2-hit KO me. I believe it does like 44%. So it gives me a reliable switch into the Mega Ampharos, which I also do not have a switch for on my team outside of Meloetta. So right now the team's looking pretty solid. I can get hazards up pretty easily versus his team. I still need something to deal with Suicune because Suicune right now is looking like a big issue to my team. But I'm going to roll with Volcanion as my next Pokemon simply because it hits everything on his team, and it hits everything on his team very hard now. Looking at the moveset here, we have Fire Blast, Earth Power, Steam Eruption, and Toxic. We have Toxic there simply because his two switch-ins to Mega Ampharos are Suicune, two switch-ins to Volcanion are Mega Ampharos and Suicune. Both can switch into either of Volcanion's stabs very easily, so Toxic allows me to put them on a timer. Suicune can be rest, so that's something I do have to worry about. Crocoon is actually a very, very big threat to my team. It just depends on his moveset, because if he is Rest, Sleep, Talk, Calm Mind, Scald, then Volcanion can just wall it. But if he is... Volcanion can wall it to an extent. I'm running moves that do not have very high PP usage, so I can get pressure stalled in a sense by the Suicune. But the Suicune cannot do much to me in return as well. Or can't do anything but keep my Volcanion healthy. So really hoping to not see the Suicune. I do think it will come, because my only real answer to Suicune is the Thunderous Eye that's on my team. Whereas, I'm very weak to Ice, so he'd probably bring Ice Beam Suicune. I would not be surprised to see an offensive Suicune no rest, and if he's no rest Suicune, then Toxic on Volcanion is a very nice option. And then going into our Thunderous Eye, another one of the mons I think will be very good, as we have Yachi Berry, Thunderous Eye, in case Weavile does want to come in to try to revenge it with an Ice Shard. I also have Taunt, which works out well for a couple of his switch-ins to Thunderous Eye, one being Licky Licky, although he could bring Oblivious, which could make it immune to Taunt. Other mons that Taunt works out very well against: Suicune, Uxie, Cofagrigus, just very important there. And then Nasty Plot plus HP Ice and Thunderbolt is really all the coverage that's needed versus his team. If I can get Mega Ampharos weakened, Thunderous Eye with Nasty Plot could actually end up sweeping this game. If I can get one Nasty Plot up against Verd. And there is a couple good setup opportunities. One trying to force out the Suicune. The other is really just trying to bait out the Landorus Therian, hit him with the HP Ice. I do have to watch out for the Scarf Landorus Therian with Stone Edge, because again my Landorus Therian switching just does not exist right now in the team. But Thunderous Eye looking at the EVs, 108 speed allows it to outspeed, again, max speed Jolly, Landorus Therian, because his next fastest mon is Weavile, which nothing on my team outspeeds, so there's no reason to run max speed. I'm able to dial back speed creep mons that are in his next speed tier, and then I can actually add the rest into some bulk, which is very beneficial for me, especially seeing as I don't have many switch-ins to a lot of his mons. Next up we have Meloetta. Now this Meloetta is a Calm Mind set, and it's actually a very good set, seeing as it is a reliable switch in to stuff like Uxie, Cofagrigus, Chestnut. So I'm able to check a lot of things with it, and the main goal of Uxie is to try and bait out that Mega Ampharos or the Celesteela, because I do have Thunderbolt and Psyshock, which is just perfect coverage for Verd's team. Now Licky Licky can come in, but Licky Licky in a sense can actually be essentially setup fodder for a sub-Calm Mind Meloetta. And I cannot set up Meloetta unless Weavile is dead. Weavile does a lot of damage to Meloetta, OHKOs it with knockoff, so I can't set up this Meloetta, or if I do have it set up, make sure it's behind a sub when Weavile comes in. Otherwise, it's an easy kill for Weavile, and I'm forced to switch into something else to take knockoff damage, or even possibly Pursuit trapped. And then the last mon is so that I don't get hazard spun or hazard stacked by potentially Armaldo or T-Spikes Cofagrigus. Having the Nidoqueen there to absorb T-Spikes is actually very good against Cofagrigus, but Hitmonchan just gives me another option to spin away the hazards. Not the greatest hazard removal, but it actually worked for what I need it to do. We have Toxic, Rapid Spin, Ice Punch, Drain Punch. Now Toxic is there because Uxie and Cofagrigus are just the most basic switches into Hitmonchan, and both of which allow me to just fire off a free Toxic anytime this thing comes in. I can check stuff like Licky Licky and Weavile with him fearing potentially Mach Punch. So I can just scare out Weavile, go for a Toxic, and put the Uxie or the Cofagrigus on a timer. If I can get rid of Uxie, that's actually very good, because now I can weaken his bulk that he can carry on his team. Drain Punch is there pretty much just to recover HP off that Licky Licky, because Licky Licky can pass wishes. So Drain Punch is there to take a little bit of HP back from the Licky Licky. We're adamant 208 HP. The 48 speed EVs is just in case he's putting any speed investment into Celesteela, potentially max speed. I do have to watch out for Autotomize Celesteela in case he does want to try to sweep me. I do have decent checks, but if he has the right moveset, and that's probably Thunderbolt and Flamethrower, I believe. I don't really have many good switch-ins outside of Meloetta for Autotomize Celesteela. Even if he's a physically offensive one, Heavy Slam's going to take out Meloetta, and Earthquake can take out Volcania and Nidoqueen, so that's something I'm really going to have to look out for, is the Autotomize physically offensive Celesteela with Earthquake, because I have 3 mons weak to Earthquake, and Heavy Slam will take out the Meloetta, leaving me really just with Thunderous Eye to check the Celesteela. But that's pretty much the team I have for this week 1 battle against Verd. It's a team that I'm actually very happy building. The front office did have a lot of input on certain things to speed creep and certain movesets to actually bring. But if you guys are hyped, go ahead, leave a like down on the video. Go over, check out Verd's channel. His link is down in the PMC description that we have there for you guys. Go show your support to all the PMC coaches as well as the PMC channel, where we have power rankings and everything going on over there. But with all that being said, guys, I'm Johnny GB, and I'm out.